Hey guys, it's Mike Chen in my last day here in Tokyo. I'm going for a premium A5 Wagyu steak that I never tried before. Then I'm heading about an hour out of Tokyo for a local hidden gem that delivers all their food to you on a boat. So breakfast is at this local steakhouse here in Ginza that specializes in a Wagyu I've never had before, Mogami Wagyu. And it's from the Yamagata prefecture, which is one of the top 6 Wagyu producing regions in all of Japan. And this thing is just a sight to behold. Giant chunk of ribeye is sliced, the fat's trimmed, and then is tossed on the grill. Then it's wrapped in foil, and then tossed back on the grill again. Finally, it comes out of the foil and again goes back on the grill for an extra sear. The experience of seeing and hearing A5 Wagyu steak going on a burning hot grill, it's just one of the most beautiful things you can ever see or hear. Because of the fat content, you hear this epic sizzle. And then it's even better when the steak is flipped. This is the outcome. It's like a steak portrait. The ribeye cap is sliced separately and is placed on the side. And just look at this beautiful plate of steak. Every single piece, you can see that amazing marbling that just resembles a snowy landscape. Each piece is absolutely grilled to perfection with the perfect doneness. There are few things in the world more beautiful than a perfectly cooked Wagyu steak. This is still breakfast time, and I don't think I've ever seen a breakfast as beautiful as this. There's no seasoning on there whatsoever, so they give you some dipping sauce, some salt, and wasabi. Oh my gosh, this is just absolutely overwhelming. First bite, I'm just gonna grab a leaner piece, relatively leaner, put some salt on it. That is so deliciously magical. That piece is just intricately marbled with a web of creamy fat. Effortlessly melts as soon as it touches your tongue. I've talked about this before. Wagyu is engineered so that its melting point is lower than your body temperature. So as soon as it goes in your mouth, it starts to melt right away. So this meat literally melts in your mouth. And then as you chew, it releases a symphony of flavors that are both rich and at the same time immensely delicate. Every bite just makes you want to just close your eyes and just melt away with that piece of Wagyu for a second. Really, this is one of those foods that you take a bite, your brain can't possibly think of anything else besides how buttery, rich, delicious the beef is. And this is so wonderful because after every bite, you get that fatty, beefy umami that's enveloped in this buttery softness that completely coats the palate. And at the same time, there's this very subtle sweetness with a hint of earthy undertone that's both luxurious and refined. When you eat good A5 Wagyu, which this 100% is, you remember like every single moment, every single bite is like a celebration. Yeah, whenever I take a bite, I just marvel at how amazingly tender and beefy each piece is. And by the way, this is a very beefy cut of Wagyu. Usually A5 Wagyu, sometimes when it's too fatty, you don't get as much of the beef flavor. The beefy flavor here is immense. Also, I gotta try this. So this is the rib cap. They sliced this separately. And this is even fattier and richer than all the other pieces. Dip this in some salt. That's just crazy. First of all, every bite of this Wagyu you take, you get that smoky flavor of the flames that this was just sitting in. And you get even more of that extra smokiness stored in the marbling of the rib cap. I mean, this thing is even more luxurious with incredible marbling and even more intense flavor. Yeah, there's way more flavor in the rib cap. It's way more beefy, it's way more smoky. It's incredibly rich, but also at the same time very refined. And after every bite, you're getting that luscious umami flavor from the beef just covering your tongue. And because it's so fatty and marbled, each piece has a bit of toastiness on the outside that brings with it a tiny hint of bitterness that goes fantastically with the richness of the Wagyu. What I like to do, some salt, a little wasabi to cut through the richness. And wasabi is a very popular way to eat steak here in Japan. Fresh wasabi, it's not overly spicy. It just works so well in balancing that rich, fatty meat. Let me try their dipping sauce. So I see some sesame in here, some scallions. That's really good too. A little spicy, a little citrusy. I love the fragrance from the sesame. Because A5 Wagyu, as good as it is, it's nice to have a little different flavor, so it doesn't get too rich for your palates. Yeah, the wasabi is still my favorite thing to go with A5 Wagyu. Little salt, little wasabi, pure bliss. It's one of my last days here in Tokyo. I really wanted to get an A5 steak, and I never had Mogami Wagyu before, so this is such an experience. And the worst thing about A5 Wagyu is you can't let it get cold. So I'm gonna finish eating. See you in a bit. So this restaurant is very water themed. And when you walk in, they fill the grill with charcoal because this is gonna be a yakitori restaurant. That's mad, by the way. And the food is gonna come from here. It's really hot in this room. Otherwise, it's very nice. I feel like this is much better for a winter meal, right? But this is nice. It's very interesting. When the meal gets here, you open up this, it just floats on by on a boat. So first thing that came, salad, cognac skewers, and my iced tea. Salad's nice and refreshing. Oh, the cognac's delightful. Thick sweet sauce on top. If you never had cognac before, guilt-free. Things like 0 calories. Second course came out, and this is a tofu soup. It looks like it's boiled in soy milk or something. Wow. It tastes like savory soy milk. There's some kombu in here as well that really adds to the umami of the soup. And the tofu looks like it's freshly made. That's freshly made tofu, and that's definitely soy milk. Like a soy broth, I should say. Like a savory soy broth. That tofu is just pure silk. Like pure silk. Oh, that's really good. It's a simple dish, but you taste the quality of all the ingredients in here. That tofu is just spectacular. It's really, really good. With a hint of sweetness. This is so comforting. This whole setting is you're in this little room, got a fire going. This would be perfect in the winter. It's a little hot for the summer, but perfect in the winter. This is like the equivalent of chicken soup for the Asian soul. This next tray is a bunch of seafood dishes and meats. There's giant king prawns, a couple slices of fish. Smells so good. This is the first thing I got that was finished cooking, the fish fillet. Whoa. Wow, the skin is so crispy. That's definitely done. The skin is so toasty and nice. Really don't need to add anything else to this. Fish is tender and flaky. Oh, this is freaking delicious. Wow, this restaurant experience is not like anything else I've been to in Japan because you never get to cook your own barbecue. Wow. Oh, it's so good too. I think it's probably done. I mean, if it's not, we can always pop it back on. Wow, this fish looks good. Still eating the fillet? I mean, this definitely looks like it's cooked. This is so amazing. Whew. It's cooked. It's perfect. They already seasoned this with a little salt. You don't need much of anything for this. This fish, again, skin is so toasty on the outside. Inside, the meat is just pure tenderness. The skin is so toasty. It's delicious. This is such a rustic barbecue. I imagine this is how people roast the fish back in the day, and it's so good. You see these amazing anime where people are just roasting fish, just a little bit of salt. It's delicious. This is such a great experience. Food is incredible, actually. If we went to the wilderness, built a pit, it's just how they roast a fish. Did you think it was gonna taste this good though? Right? I was really doubting how we can barbecue this because I was like, they're really not gonna barbecue it for us. Because here, they don't really tell you how long the fish should be on there. I guess you cook it to your preferred doneness. I think this is absolutely perfect. Now this is a prawn. Just a little bit of salt on here. Whoa, gotta suck on the head though. Wow, that flavor is nice. All that good stuff in the head tastes so amazingly smoky and delicious over this fire. Smoky, roasted flavor essence from prawn. Again, don't really need anything else. Roast it over the fire with a little bit of salt, utter perfection. More food is here. So whenever you hear the announcement, that means something new has arrived. And they send everything, even drinks, through that little boat. Soba is good, very refreshing. Scallops. Needs a little salt, otherwise tender and delicious. Very tender. Oh, this is great. Chase that with some soba. Oh, it's very nice. Oh, this is a hefty skewer of chicken. Oh, that chicken's really juicy and tender. They salted it a little bit. Again, that's all you really need. And there is other dipping sauce if you feel like you need it, but I think the seasoning on there, the way it is, just perfect. Might have overcooked the razor clams a little bit. Right. This thing can now definitely beat up the chicken. Best thing, probably the scallop. Feels like eating inside a sauna. I feel like I'm getting a workout and eating at the same time. Don't let that deter you from coming here though in the summer. It's such a fun experience. Last round is vegetables, corn, potatoes, and a fish ball. Ooh. I've got a fish ball. Some yuzu in here too. I wasn't a fish ball, it was like a chicken meatball or something. Oh, good. Oh, I'm so full. But corn smells good. Roasted corn. Nice and sweet and burnt. That's the way I like it. Only the potato is left. Oh, that's such a good potato. That's really good. This has been such a fun experience. Definitely in the winter, this will be even better experience, especially if it's like snowstorm outside. You're sitting in a room heated with a charcoal grill and just cooking skewers like people did probably for hundreds of years. Really interesting dining experience, but food is also very tasty. Very much highlighting the ingredients of the food, just a little bit of salt added. That's all you need. It's so fun to get your food from these little boats floating by. And this whole area, it's just beautiful and rustic and pretty. I would highly recommend this experience. Getting here is a little tricky. We drove today. If you don't have a car, what you can do is take the train to the train station. They will actually pick you up from the train station. You have to speak to them in Japanese though. Get your Google Translate ready or have a Japanese speaking friend nearby, but definitely worth the experience. I've wanted to come here for a couple years now. It's actually way better than I expected. What'd you think, buddy?
40-minute drive, not too bad. Definitely better during the winter. The snowing with the doors, as you can see, very good.
I mean, this is a place I would come back to. Did you come back?
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Highly recommend indeed. Back in Tokyo, I had to rush for a Shinkansen, heading to Osaka tonight. So spending the next 4 or 5 days in Osaka and Kyoto and traveling on a Friday night. It is so busy at the station. Welcome to Osaka. I think it's about 9 o'clock right now. No more food tonight. That was a very long train ride and food day begins early tomorrow. As always, I'll place our win to list down below for you guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Until we eat again, see you later.